the chat has noted, and as I have noted, we have landed on a perfect day for Matty to be on this show, as it is, in fact, Matty's big celebration. Is this, Matty? Is this what we're going with? The victory lap of Matty Edmonds that you got on the Grappy and the Crappy Awards, and it's only just about March, so of course, Big Dave just about gets his Observer Awards out as the headlines hit the timeline today, along with his star ratings of Paul Triple H Levesque beating out Tony Khan to win Booker of the Year. Yeah, apparently those were first place votes. I think there's about 3,000, 4,000 votes in there before Gareth jumps in. I know that's coming. Pretty good sample size, I would say. Paul Levesque top, Tony Khan second, and then whoever Juan Manuel Mar is in third. We need the JP for that one. So I presume the CML Booker. Andy Quilden's in eighth, Scott Tabor in ninth. So good to see a little bit of a representation of Brit Res there. Speaking of our good friend Andy Quilden, but yeah, obviously the big headline was the Triple H, of course, won that. As far as promotion of the year, that was the other big headline this year. As WWE won promotion of the year, if you can believe this, Matty, for the first time in almost 23 years. WWE won promotion of the year.
That's your argument, doesn't it, Benno?
As a few people have said, technically, they've never won it because they were WWF the last time they won it. But yes, the double was done, and also in a promoter of the year.
Best ever,
well,
that one. That was my favourite one, Benno, that one.
Honestly, I laughed out loud. I was expecting a picture of Triple H. Nope. Picture of Nick Khan, who Dave Meltzer has arbitrarily decided is the WWE promoter and is now it's always odd, this, especially when it comes, a joke about the Japanese and the Mexican promotions, but like no one really knows who the booker is, and no one in some cases, and nobody really knows like who's responsible for what. And in a mega corporation like WWE, it is really hard to say, well, who's the promoter. It's slightly easier to say who the booker is, but apparently it's Nick Khan these days. So yeah, Nick Khan beating Tony Khan in the votes there. Big Tone's going to be seething. I'm shocked that a tweet hasn't come yet from him. Never mind you.
I was just about to say, I actually just can't wait to see what Tony Khan comes out with on Twitter. I'm really looking forward to it once that news lands with him. But as you say, Benno, that was like Triple H. I expected Triple H to get it though, and I expected WWE to get promotion of the year, not just going on, my thoughts. And as you say, you guys all voted for it in the Grappy Awards, and it was just a better year overall for the reasons we all said on our show, Benno. But no, it really was. And the people can't, I know it's only 3 months into the year and obviously like stuff's happened and stuff like that, but you can't go on the product itself in 2023 did deserve its flowers and its praise, and I'm glad it's getting it, in all seriousness.
I think what's interesting about the awards, that it kind of like, I wish I kind of made this point at the time, but when we did the Grappies, I'm not walking back what I said, Matty, but we do split, we don't split them. It's just, because we kind of make the assumption that the promoter of the year is also going to win promoter of the year, so we just go with one. I could almost, I don't know, at this point, I could maybe make an argument for AEW being promotion of the year, but in December, and if you're talking a flat year 2023, there's no conversation. It's just not there. They had a rough year last year. Promoter of the year, Booker of the year, however you want to split it. I think even today, if you ask me, I'd go with WWE, and I'd unfortunately have to agree with you, Matty. But like you said, I want to sit here and argue with you, but how can you? Like, how can you when, the weird dichotomy is, AEW, the reason I say now, I'd still consider AEW for promotion of the year, despite saying that, because when you go up and down the Observer Awards, I'm not going to go through every one, but, TV show of the year, you go through pay-per-view of the year, which they dominated. I don't know whether you'd necessarily agree with that, with the early run of pay-per-views WWE did have last year, but they dominate that. A lot of those individual awards, the Wrestler of the Year, obviously Will Ospreay now AEW contracted, Promo of the Year, Eddie Kingston, they've won in a lot of those quality awards as far as like what I would guess an Observer reader probably wants from individual segments and matches in wrestling.
Yeah.
And even if you 100% agree with that, the proof is in the pudding in the awards that have come up, because I don't think anybody really with reasonable sense cannot vote for them based on 2023. Like, as the chat's noting, there's a couple of laughable votes for Gedo in there, and a fair amount of votes for Tony Khan. But if you're talking promoter of the year, you've got to talk business, and WWE's business.
Just about to say that.
Unreal last year and continues to be into this year. And if you're talking Booker of the Year, you have to talk, what we always say, the logical sense of the progression of things and the, the positioning of people and, getting new stars over and all of those fundamental things that me and JP will always argue about. Don't result in a Monday Night Raw that I want to watch 3 hours every week. But can I argue that it's better organised and better booked, or at least was for very long stretches last year? No.
But that's what you've just said it all, Benno. It's the wrestlers themselves, like you're saying, the in-ring matches, the actual wrestlers.
Better matches than in AEW.
That's what.
Better pay-per-views.
And that's what. Yeah, until SummerSlam, I'll argue to death. Them first 6 or 7 of 2023 WWE.
It's closer. It's closer than some would say. Absolutely.
But maybe that's the overall package. Then if you're strictly going from in-ring, even I can say, Ben, like even while I go to on Dynamite, like. Even watching strictly matches, AEW will probably watch it every week. Will probably have the better actual matches. Always will. As you say, even I can't deny that. But as an overall package for them pay-per-views, like the setting, the fans, everything about it, WWE hands down for me. Them first 6 or 7 last year. But as you say, that's where it's split, isn't it? It's more business side awards and coming from that aspect than the actual. That's what the Observer's
supposed to be.
Yeah.
The Observer is, we can laugh at Dave and some of the stories he gets wrong, including some in the Observer today. And you can laugh at some of the readership as well. But it's the hive mind of the smarter quote unquote wrestling fan here. So it's supposed to be about business trends, and it's supposed to be about who draws, and it's supposed to be about quality. And we can disagree on some of these things, but as you'll say when we get into our next story, sometimes numbers are just numbers, and I don't think you can really argue.
Can't be debated, Benno. Numbers can't be.
I mean, there's something you could debate. Ospreay won most outstanding wrestler, because that's the thing. Dave has about 12 different awards that basically all mean wrestler.
Yeah, the same.
Japanese MVP, European MVP. So he's fair enough. He's won both of them. That European MVP is one of those ones where, not that there's many other candidates. I was glad to see Michael Oku get a fair amount of votes. I laughed at Spike Trevay getting a fair amount of votes, but I'm guessing that was 8 or 9 members of his immediate family who were voting for him there, or him under 8 or 9 burner accounts. But the Europe one's always like that. It's just because there's a lot of Americans. They're just like, who's a European wrestler I know? Walter. I'll vote for him. Zack Sabre Jr. What I mean? It's not actually the people who've been here. So that one feels a bit ropey considering the limited matches Ospreay did in 2023 in the UK. But even one best wrestling move apparently did Ospreay.
I didn't see that one. Didn't see that award.
I'm actually not sure if that was for the Stormbreaker or for the one, the Daft
the Blade,
one.
Is it? Hidden Blade, is it?
Blade, Hidden Blade.
Yeah.
I think it's that actually. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but match of the year as well. Ospreay picked up for the Kenny
one,
match, the rest of
Tokyo Dome one.
Tokyo Dome. They went with there. With all that said, you're going to argue that he then therefore won Wrestler of the Year? I would say, based on all of those things, Wrestler of the Year is supposed to include drawing as well. So, as we're going to get into, there's an argument for your boy in there too. But I don't know. It's rare. It's not often that somebody wins both. Essentially, what is the Worker Award in the Observer and the Overall Wrestler Award. The Overall Wrestler is supposed to be a combination of both, but I don't know. Ospreay was so strong in every other category that I don't really disagree with that one myself, even if, our Grappy Awards might have you say otherwise.
Yeah, well, that's it, Benno. That's what you said there, and that's where, even as you've just said, you get confused looking at how many. Like I say, I've looked and it was like outstanding wrestlers, so forth. Oh, that's the Wrestler of the Year, and then it was like Worker, and I was like, I'm just getting confused looking at these awards. It's, as you say, he's just padding. I think he just pads his favourites out, so they look like they've won more awards when it's essentially the same thing. Like, so yeah, but it always causes this good debate and this good chat, these awards. So that's why I like them as well.
We were very close to a really fun upset in Roman Reigns in the most overrated category.
Second, really. Yeah, see that behind Sonada.
Just about 10 votes away from winning that one. I think there'd be a very different Matty on the show if that had been pulled
Speaking
off.
of Roman, can I just pull up something in the chat there of Andy there? He's saying WWE was on fire till Roman got stale. He must have a crystal ball, because I haven't seen that yet. So he's looking into the future there, because I haven't seen that one yet, Andy.
I mean, it is, but anyway. I'm trying to think any other big ones that have kind of stood out there. Obviously, we got the worsties. NWA got worst promotion of the year. MJF versus the Devil got worst feud
I was
of the
going to
year.
say that everyone
MJF,
hated that, didn't
has
he?
to hold a
MJF
lot
the
of.
Devil. Yeah.
MJF deserves a lot of the blame for the switch around of these awards and,
Yeah.
and AEW doing so badly in the other categories or not winning the categories you'd normally expect. Kind of like a mean one, but like Bray Wyatt, despite what happened, still
I
won
know.
worst match of the year against LA Knight. I don't mean to laugh, but like, I assume Dave's not going to name that award after him. But fucking hell, I'd hope that like maybe it's the type of thing he'd find funny. That even in death, he's still got the worst match of the year. I would have voted, as we said on our show, for the worst/best match of the year, which was Shane McMahon and Snoop Dogg versus The Miz. I feel like that was an absolute worst best. That was the easy win, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
But I agree,
That's
Benno.
it.
With Steph in the chat there, worst feud, I think I said on the Grappies, and me worst match was Adam Cole and Jericho, because it was so fucking awful. How boring was it? And it's meant to be like a big blow off, like no holds barred, non-sanctioned. It was fucking awful.
AEW did win best show though, Revolution last year, which is interesting considering it was the very start of the year. Again, a lot of
match
like a long time ago. Yeah, Excalibur won best TV announcer.
100%. Love Excalibur.
You've been an Excalibur guy for a while. Ian Riccaboni number 2, Kevin Kelly number 3 had fight. Nigel McGuinness number 4 had also fight. Number 5, Chris Charlton, 89 votes, kill it with fire. Who are these 89 people voting for Chris Charlton? Oh, he speaks English, does he? Fucking anyway. All right, translator. Give him 89 for that. But most underrated was Chad Gable himself. Roman was only 6 votes off winning most overrated. So close. Best non-wrestler, Don Callis. That feels like there's always Heyman's number 2. Like
3 years ago.
Some of the Observer readers. Yeah, some of the Observer readers are people who were clearly checked out, who were just buying the newsletter and just reading what Dave says and going with it, not actually watching it themselves. And so it's just like by default, Paul Heyman promo of the year. Best non-wrestler, Don Callis. Has he been good in about 6 months? What's the last good thing he did? He's been shite.
He takes all the heat himself, doesn't he? He doesn't give anything to his stable at all. He just takes it all himself.
Yeah, Andy's saying the same thing. Absolute dog shit. Same with Chris Elliott there. MJF got most charismatic, just beating Roman Reigns. Sorry, Matty.
What's going on?
Roman got biggest draw, though, so there is that for you. Again, why can you
That's undeniable. That's just not even
We'll get to it. Cody number 2, though. Some of those draw numbers are kind of telling at the minute. Some of his quarter hours doing very, very well. And yeah, feud of the year, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline, which I think is absolutely fair enough. Rhea Ripley, women's wrestling MVP in there as well, and of course Bryan Danielson won the Bryan Danielson award.
I love that though. To be fair,
so.
I'm not a Bryan guy, but I do love that. I do love that. Yeah, I absolutely love that one.
There we go. But yeah, best weekly show at AEW Dynamite. Collision was actually number 2, which I don't agree with at all. I agree with Dynamite winning. I don't agree with Collision being second. I think that's unfair. SmackDown's 3, Raw's not in there. I'd argue Raw's probably been better booked than SmackDown for the last while.
I can see why I'm always going to be a SmackDown guy, because when the Bloodline are there, I like them the way the shows are structured. But people seem to just, as you know, we're on the chat here, think it's stale, formulaic, and all that stuff. So that's fair play. That's just taste, isn't it? You know what I mean? So.
Definitely. Any other standout for you, or just you got to take your victory and run, mate? You lost wrestler of the year, but you won promotion. Congratulations.
He was in there though, and he was higher than Moxley, so I was happy with that. Roman, he placed one place higher than Moxley, which I was always, because we had that a while back. The best member of the show, even Gareth was saying it was Moxley. So I'm firing back at Gareth, even though he's not here, because he's been firing at me the past few weeks or so.
I know. Let's go. Yeah. The retro Civil War, mate. What's going on? It's usually me and you.
Gareth, if you're listening, he got placed higher than John Moxley, so take that one, mate. You'll have that one.
That's a couple of comments there, and we'll wrap up on the commentators. Yeah, Andy Ogden saying he can't believe Taz didn't win anything. Yeah, I could have put him in there for commentator of the year. Interesting, no WWE commentators. There's just no great commentators, is there?
You know what?
Excalibur's fine. That's it.
Excalibur is the best in the world. I think I voted for that vote from the past 2 years on the Grappies. He is the best. There's no denying, because even if I don't watch or think AEW's proper shite at times, he delivers and whatever. Like, he describes everything so well in that promotion. There isn't a man on this planet that can do what he does. Do you know what I mean? Honestly, there isn't. There's no other commentator that could lead AEW like he does, and that's the highest compliment I can give him. He knows every move, doesn't he, Ben? Like any little thing as well. And does he still do that that long, like 60-second for fucking 90-second stretch previewing every show in the next like 2 years?
Tones it down a bit, but we still get it. We still get it.
Oh, he's great now. He's great as Calber. Brilliant. But
and if Riccaboni was on TV more, as I said in the Grappies, I'd love him.
Caprice Coleman did a great duo, Ben. Even the dying days of Ring of Honor, like what I was watching, they were incredible. They really were. Like, I love them as a duo. But on the WWE commentators, as you say, like, I do like the new teams that they put in. I think Cole and McAfee brings the best out in Cole for sure, even if it's just making Cole sound a bit more normal when he's talking, and he's better anyway these days, Cole, for that. But I do think Graves and Wade Barrett are making a little, because at first it was like, what, two heels, pretty much the same commentator. But Graves has done well in his new role, so I think. But actually, no one stands out. They're just all pretty safe across the board for me.
There we go. Well, on that note, that's the awards. I agree with Chris Elliott in the chat there. Punk getting 9th in worst promotional tactic. 14 people voted for him. I mean, the Vince McMahon thing happened. Like, how can you not vote for it? How can anyone vote for it? Someone voted for most disgusting promotional tactic. There were a few votes for the NWA cocaine incident. It's like, come on, lads. It was 2023. Who cares? Who cares? Like, Vince McMahon exists. You can't be voting for these fucking things. But outside of that, I think it's the most reasons awards in a while. The good in-ring stuff won the good in-ring awards, and the better booking and better business won the better booking and better business awards. I just think overall it's fair. And